Welcome to virtual class of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai Education Department. I am Mrs. Akshata Kale and today we will learn English. Come on students, we will move to the lesson. Today's subject is English of Standard 5th and name of the story is Weeds in the Garden. Dear children, this is the story of a boy and his parents. Okay, most of the parents like to fulfill the wishes of their children. They feel sorry when they cannot indulge their kids or when they have to scold them. And when even a scolding has no effect, the parents become very unhappy. Such was the case with Anshuman and his parents. Anshuman's parents had noticed that he was developing some bad habits. Naturally, they began to warn him time and again. But all in vain. Vain means waste. Anshuman just wouldn't listen. He refused to believe that he was letting those bad habits get a hold over him. Gentle words, strict warnings, a scolding, now and then. His parents tried everything short of beating him up, and that they would never do. However unhappy they themselves were, they wanted to be loving and gentle as they tried to correct their son's ways. Soon an opportunity presented itself. Anshuman had gone to stay on his grandfather's farm with his parents. Early one morning, his father took him for a walk around the farm. He was describing the specialties of various plants and vines and bushes and trees to Anshuman. Suddenly, he stopped and pointed at a small seedling growing near a plant. Anshuman, that's a weed. Can you uproot this weed? He asked. Anshuman had no difficulty in pulling all of the small seedling out. Good, said his father, and they continued with their walk. After a while, they came upon the same weed, but there it had grown slightly bigger. Anshuman's father told him to pull out this plant too. He asked, can you uproot this plant, Anshuman? Making sure that no trace of the root was left in the soil. He said to uproot carefully. Otherwise, the weed can grow again, he warned. Anshuman uprooted the plant carefully, twisting it and pulling it hard so that the whole of it came out. Then his father drew his attention to the same weed growing at some distance. There it had grown into a big plant with tiny flowers and dark fruit. That could be quite dangerous. We mustn't leave it growing here. Take it out, said Anshuman's father. Anshuman held the plant in his hands and gave it a tug. The weed didn't move at all. He pulled harder and harder, but to no avail. I can't get this out, exclaimed Anshuman. It has gone too deep into the soil, he said. So then his father brought some implements, means tools. Okay, they dug around the weed and with great effort pulled it out. When they were returning home after the hard work, Anshuman's father mentioned, "Dear Anshuman, habits are like weeds. The longer you allow them to grow, the harder it is to uproot them. It is wise to get rid of them when it is easy to do so," he said. Anshuman realized the truth in his father's words. Throughout his life, he never forget that early morning walk on the farm with his father. This is all about our story. Got this? Dear children, in this story, we had come across with the word weed. W-E-E-D, weed. What is the meaning of that? Yes, here it is the meaning. A wild plant that is not wanted in a garden because it prevents other plants from growing properly. You can see the picture of the weed that we take out from the farm so that the fertility of the soil can goes to the other plants which we need to grow. Got this? That is called weed. You can say example grass too. Okay. Now, what do you say? The moral of the story. Yes, here this story has a very nice moral. Yes, I will write here. See this, habits are like weeds. The longer you allow them to grow, the harder it is to uproot them. It will become very hard to get rid of that bad habit. Got this? It is wise to get rid of them when it is easy to do so. If anyone says that you are developing a bad habit, especially your parents and your teacher, when she says that you are getting a bad habit, then try to get rid of that. Understood? Good. Now, dear children, we will move to the exercise part of this story. Here, prefixes and suffixes. Yes, I will give you one good example to understand the meaning of prefixes and suffixes. Here, the word comfort, C-O-M-F-O-R-T, comfort. Yes, we will take this as a base root or root word. What this is? Comfort is a root word. Okay, now we will add un before comfort. That is root word. Then it became uncomfort. This un which we added before the root word, this is called prefix. Pre means before. You know that pre-primary. Pre-primary means nursery, junior, senior. Isn't it? That is called pre-primary. Pre is nothing but before. Here also we used pre. Correct? Pre means before the root word we are adding some words, they are called as prefix. Okay, now we will add some word after this root word. See here, able. A-B-L-E, able. Now we will read this, uncomfortable. Okay, uncomfortable. The before word we know that we say it as prefix. Okay, when we add some words after the root word, this is root word, right? After the root word, then we call them as suffix. Got this? Before, that is prefix, and after the root word, that is suffix. Okay, both together we say affix. Got this? I hope you understood properly. When the root word gets the extra word before, then it becomes prefix, and the root word gets extra word after it, then it is called as suffix. Okay. See here, what is prefix? A prefix is a word part added to the beginning of a base word. Base word is nothing but root word. Okay. Now, this is from your textbook. Add proper prefixes like up, up, un, dis, dis, in to the following to form opposites. Yes, dear children, by adding these prefixes, we have to make the given word opposite word. Means we have to make or we have to prepare a word पादरी मुलगी घरी आहे, पादरी मुलगी घरी आहे म्हणजे add proper prefixes like up, un, dis, dis, in to the following to form opposites. Yes, dear children, here we have to use these prefixes whichever is suitable for the specific word to make the opposite word. Okay, we will begin. Say this, happy. Yes, you have to choose the proper one here to make it opposite. Happy, one I will show you. Unhappy. Here I used this un. Okay, and I made the word unhappy. This is the opposite of happy. Sad, correct? So happy, unhappy. Next one is root. Yes, you know from this lesson what the Anshuman did. He uprooted the plant. So uproot, that is the opposite of root. Here prefix is up, up, up. Okay, next one is effective. Yes, here we will use in. So it is ineffective, means no effect. Got this? Ineffective. Okay. Next one is noticed. Yes, teacher noticed the students' behavior. The opposite is unnoticed. Got this? Unnoticed. Here we added un. Here in. Here up up. And here un. Okay. Some more are there. First one here. Believe. Yes, the opposite or the prefix we are going to use here is dis. Disbelieve. Okay. Next one is civilized. And the opposite is or the prefix we are using here is uncivilized. Okay. Next one. Continue. Yes, you know the prefix used to make opposite. Yes, discontinue. I discontinued the karate class. I discontinued the drawing class. Correct? Means took the break. Yes, like this we have to use the prefixes which are proper to these words to make them opposite. Okay. The next thing is here you can see read the highlighted words. They are known as prepositions. See here example. For a walk. For. Around the farm. Around. Specialties of plants. Of. In the soil. In. With great effort. With. Yes, dear children, here yellow. Yellow marked means words, they are prepositions. Yes, first we will learn the meaning of prepositions. Now, what is the meaning of prepositions? Preposition is a word which is used before a noun phrase or a pronoun. We use this word before a noun or means noun, you know, the name of a thing, place, person, animal, isn't it? Before the noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun. You know about pronoun, that is he, she, it, they, them, you, all these are pronouns, isn't it? Yes, these prepositions we use before the noun or before the pronoun, connecting it to another word. Okay? Yes, these are called as prepositions. We will go through some of the examples. Here one thing I can tell you, prepositions, they show the position of the thing. Okay, position, where it is, that it shows. For example, see this table and mouse. The mouse is under the table. You can see this, correct? The mouse is under the table. Two things here, mouse and table. They are nouns, isn't it? Mouse and table. Both are nouns. The name of the thing and name of the animal, isn't it? Relationship. One is under the other. Where is this mouse? Under this table. It is showing the position of the one thing. So here under is a preposition. Got this? Okay. Here we will go through this. See this. You can see a inverted box, right? This is cat. Cat is under the box. See the position. Here under, correct? Under is preposition. See this bird is between two boxes. You can see the position. It is between these two boxes. So between is preposition. It is out. Cat is out of the box or close to the box. anything we can use. It is outside the box or close to the box. Got this, children? Some more. Here, inside. See, the cat is sitting in the box or cat is inside the box. Next one is the bird is above the box. Above, isn't it? It is above the box. The cat is behind the box. Right? The bird is on the box. The bird is sitting on the box. See, these all small words, they show the position of a noun. Correct? So we use these words before the noun to show the relation with the other word. Right? The bird is on the box. Here, bird and box both are nouns, isn't it? And on, it tells the position of the bird, one noun with the another. Got this? See here, the cat is sitting in front of the box. Yes, here in front of. This is also a preposition. It is showing the position of the cat compared to the box. Okay, I hope you understood about the prepositions. Shall we move further? Okay, now we will move. Here also you can see below, dog is sitting and above a man is sleeping. See this? And see, this is over. The ball is over the box. Here also the cat is above the box. Here means it is crossing over the box, isn't it? Okay. Now here from the textbook, change the meaning of the sentences by changing the prepositions. Here what is given? Change the meaning of the sentences. Sentences are given here. You have to change the meaning of the sentences by changing the prepositions. We will try to do this. See, this is the picture. See the picture and read this sentence. The tiger jumped into the river. The tiger jumped into the river. First you find out the preposition. Yes, into. Correct? This shows the relation between the two nouns, river and tiger, isn't it? And jumped is a verb. You know this, correct? So the tiger jumped into the river. So we will write a new sentence with changing the preposition. The tiger jumped out of the river. See this? It is coming out of the river. Right? The tiger jumped out of the river. Here into, we have changed that one to out of the river. Next thing is, there were many people around the house. Can you see here? But they are around the house or inside the house? Yes, we will change the sentence. There were many people inside the house. You can see here, inside the house, so many people are there. Right? Okay, next one. We traveled to Mumbai by train. Here preposition is to. Right? We traveled to Mumbai by train. See the direction of the train. Mumbai is this side and it is moving to it is leaving Mumbai, correct? It is traveling from Mumbai towards other city. Right? So we will change to from. See, we traveled from Mumbai by train. This train is leaving Mumbai and it is moving towards other state, other city. So we traveled from Mumbai. We changed the preposition from to from. For this, next one is put the cubes in the box. Put the cubes in the box. Preposition is in, right? Inside, in. So we will change, put the cubes beside the box. You can see this beside the box, right? Cubes are beside the box. So we will write, put the cubes beside the box. Next thing is, the children were asked to come without their parents. Teacher called the parents and the children for PTA meeting. Okay. Then or for some open day. Here what is written? The children were asked to come without their parents. Okay. Now observe the picture and we will change our sentence by changing the preposition. Yes, see here. Which is the preposition here in this sentence? The children were asked to come without. Yes, without is the preposition. Then we will change that one to the children were asked to come with their parents. You can see mommy and daddy along with the child. So with their parents. For this, with and here without. Now here change the meaning by changing the adverb. See dear children, here also you know the meaning of adverb, I think, because we have learned about adverbs in first semester portion. Right? Adverbs are the words which describes the verbs. Right? She dances smoothly. This smoothly, this is the extra word we use for the dance. That is nothing but adverb. Isn't it? Okay. Now we will write here. Speak gently. It is given. Gently is the adverb. Speak is the verb. Gently is the adverb. Now what they asked us to do? Change the meaning by changing the adverb. Means we have to change this word, that is gently. Speak gently. Okay, you will change speak loudly. Gently means slowly, but here loudly means, you know this, right? Now here gently we change that one to loudly. So the meaning changed. Got this? Speak gently, speak loudly. Next is come in. Come, this is a verb. In is adverb. Come in. Okay, come on, tell me. Change the meaning by changing the adverb. In we will change by out or outside. So, come outside. Okay. Next thing is hit the stone hard with the hammer. You know hammer means hathodi. Hit the stone hard with the hammer. Here hammer is noun. Hitting the stone, hit is a verb. Stone is also noun, correct? What is this? Hard. Hit the stone hard. Hard is adverb. Correct? Hard is adverb. We have to change this word and we have to change the meaning. See here. Hit the stone gently with the hammer. You slowly hit the stone like this it is. Hit the stone gently with the hammer. Got this, children? Thank you, dear children. Yes, one thing I want to tell you that you read this lesson, that is weeds in the garden, 2 to 3 times. Very nice lesson. It is giving us a moral, right? And that is very necessary for you for this age. For this, children, and try to learn the meaning of the hard words present in this lesson. Use dictionaries or you can use Google also to get the meaning of the hard words. Okay? Thank you very much, students, for being a part of this lesson. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get new updated videos.